सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। So Hari Om and salutations to all. In this Ganapati Atharvashirsha, we have seen different aspects of Ganeshji so far. He is the absolute reality, he is the Ishvara, he is the Karta, Dharta, Harta, he is the protector. Now today some more aspects we will see. We saw that he is beyond the three gunas, beyond the three states of experience. So he is the Atma, he is the consciousness within. Till mantra 6 is what we saw. Now mantra 7 says, Tvam mooladhara sthitosi nityam, Tvam shaktitrayatmakaha, Tvam yogino dhyayanti nityam. So there are different places in our body which are indicated as a focal point to improve our concentration, to make the mind single pointed. So one point is here, the space between the two eyebrows. Other is in the heart. So this is the Agni chakra, this is the Anahata chakra. These two are generally referred to. So either one visualizes the form of the Lord in the heart or in the space between the two eyebrows. So if somebody is a devotional person, then uses the heart. If somebody is more of rational, intellectual, logical type of person, then this place. Whichever one uses, the idea is to remember the Lord. What is important is that when there is a point like that in our body, the mind learns to concentrate and one will feel. See, when we focus here, there is a sensation also. So the mind goes through a certain, so the body goes through a certain sensation and one becomes alert. The moment the mind has wandered, the focus goes away from here, the sensation also goes. That's why when doing spiritual practices like japa or puja or even meditation, these places are very important. In Yoga Marg, they have the 7 chakras. And those 7 chakras are what each yogi would meditate on. So we find the base chakra is called the Mooladhara chakra. So Mooladhar, Swadhishthan, Manipur, Anahata, Vishuddhi, Agnya and Sahasrara. The 7 chakras. Here it is said Ganeshji is the Kundalini Shakti. So those who follow the marg of yoga, they invoke this Kundalini Shakti and through their spiritual practices, they uplift that Kundalini from Mooladhar up to Sahasrara. So it is called as a coiled serpent. Mooladhara Shakti, the Kundalini Shakti is like a coiled serpent which is dormant right now in all of us. If a person is following the yoga mark, then one invokes that power. And this one should be very careful. One should do one only under the guidance of a trained and a great yogi. Because if Kundalini gets awakened and one doesn't know how to channelize it, it is very, very dangerous. It can paralyze the body, it can harm the organs, it can do many things. Because it's energy, it's tremendous energy. So Ganeshji is that. So he says, Tvam Mooladhara Sthitosi Nityam. You are the Kundalini Shakti which is there in all of us. And it is by the grace of Ganeshji that we even get a guru who can take us in this path of yoga. Slowly, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he practiced Kundalini yoga. And there was uh, a Brahmani from whom he learned Tantra also. And he practiced this Kundalini Shakti. So the idea is that one should have a proper guru. Tvam Mooladhara Sthito Sinityam. Tvam Shakti Trayatmakaha. You are of the nature of the three powers. So what are the three powers? One is simple: creation, sustenance, and destruction, that we have already seen. Second is, as Ishvara, he is also having the power to bless, to punish, and to reward. So Bhagavan will do all the three. So when we go through difficult times, we pray to the Lord to bless. That, oh Lord, you please bless and protect us. Though sometimes the difficult times may be a result of one's own karma or the total karma, samashti karma. So as karma phala data, we may get certain karma phala. The jivas can be given certain karma phala by the Lord, but we still invoke the grace of the Lord. Ki, oh Lord, you please bless us, help us to come out of this situation and give us that sadbuddhi that we don't do this again. So Bhagavan has these three powers: to bless, to reward, and to punish. Now the devotee is one who will see all the three as the grace of Bhagavan. Blessing of the Lord is definitely Bhagavan's grace. Reward also is Bhagavan's grace. So one's heart is filled with gratitude that whatever blessings and abundance we have in our life, we feel grateful to the Lord. And punishment also is Bhagavan's grace only, to help us to evolve, to bring us back to the path of righteousness. So Tvam Shakti Trayatmakaha. And the Shakti Trayatmakaha also means that the Lord has three powers: Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti. We also have those three powers in small measure because we are Amsha of Bhagavan. So the power to desire, the power to know, and the power to act: Ichha, Kriya, and Jnana. Now in this there is a beautiful connection. Our Ichha will be according to our Jnana. We desire something only as per our knowledge. And Bhagavan is the Buddhi Devata. So one prays to Lord Ganesha that bless us with the right knowledge so that our desires will be right. Then actions will automatically be right. Knowledge we gain through our senses, knowledge we gain through the people around us, through the upbringing, through various methods. Knowledge comes into us. Somebody tells us something we read somewhere, we browse somewhere. So we gain knowledge through different means. And that knowledge creates desires in us. We can't desire something that we don't know anything about. Suppose I want a wonderful car. Somebody would have told me, or somewhere I would have seen, oh, this is such a nice car and what all facilities this has. And then the knowledge of that is there. Then at a certain time, then the desire for it arises. If this we understand well, then if desire for Bhagavan has to arise, then what should we do? We should have more knowledge about the Lord. Who is this Lord? What is the connection with that Lord? The Lord's nature is what? Though the Lord has a form, we saw earlier mantras, they spoke about the formless, infinite nature of the Lord and how we can build a relationship with that Lord. This knowledge helps us to desire that, no, I also want to have darshan of the Lord. I want to be one with the Lord. Then our actions will transform. So the devotee is one who will gain knowledge. Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti. And you know, it is said that the Kripa of the Lord, how do we know that we have grace of the Lord in our life? One method is where we understand that there is a good body, good family, economic prosperity, all that. That is called the general grace of the Lord is there. But there is a special grace of the Lord called Vishesh Kripa. That, how do we know it is there on us? So Shankaracharya ji says, if these three factors are there in our life, that means we have special grace of the Lord. Manushyatvam, Mumukshutvam, Mahapurusha Samshraya. If we have human body, that itself is the great blessing of the Lord. Having got a human body, I can achieve many things because we have free will. But in that human body, if I have a desire to get liberation, mumukshutva, that also is a expression of special grace of the Lord. That ichha for mukti is called mumukshutva. How will that ichha for mukti come? Until satsang does not come, this ichha for mukti will not happen. Satsang means jnana. So jnana shakti, ichha shakti. And when this ichha shakti is there that I want liberation, I have seen enough in the world. I have enough power, pleasure, popularity, prestige. I have seen all that and I understood its limitation. Now I want to turn my mind to the Supreme. This ichha to turn within is a grace of Bhagavan. Then Kriya will happen, Mahapurusha Samshrayaha, where we get satsang is Mahapurusha Samshraya. Then there will be human body we have a company of some great person or a great saint or some satsang we have. Then the desire in us arises to know. That desire gets intensified with action. Where we start doing sadhana, start living in sanyam, self-control, start doing seva, start doing swadhyaya, satsang. So all these things will intensify our seeking. So all these are expressions of Bhagavan's grace. Human body, company of a great person, then the desire for liberation, and the actions we do for getting that liberation. So here the devotee says, Bhagavan, you are endowed with Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti. We are also, in small measure, we also have it. Please give us more and more such blessings. And one very big learning of difficult times is Vairagya. When one sees the transient nature of life, difficult times are those which help us to see how transient is this life, how ephemeral is this life. Suddenly things change. Unexpected things happen. Suddenly people, drop their bodies. Some financial loss happens. So many things, they keep changing. And we are shaken out of our attachment. So the prayer to the Lord is this, that we have Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti. Bless us that we use this well. Nothing wrong in enjoying or desiring anything in the world, but let us not forget that whatever we attain will be temporary. It will be not long lasting. So Tvam Shakti Trayatmakaha. And hence the next line says, Tvam Yogino Dhyayanti Nityam. The great yogis, they meditate on you constantly. Because that is the only permanent thing in life is Bhagavan. Yogi does not mean somebody who has just gone away, leaving the family, going into a forest, staying alone. Yogi means somebody who is trying to unite with the Lord. And it can be anybody. It can be anyone in the Grahastha life also. Anybody who is working in a professional life also. Anyone who strives to unite with the Lord is a yogi. So he says, Tvam yogino dhyayanti nityam. Constantly there are people who are striving to unite with you. How they meditate on the Lord? Some follow the path of devotion, they meditate on the form of the Lord. Some follow the path of knowledge, so they meditate as consciousness. Some people follow the path of yoga, so they meditate on the chakras and the Kundalini rising. Some meditate on the Lord as the world. This whole universe is the form of Bhagwan, and they serve the Lord. And through their karma yoga, they try to unite with the Lord. So no matter what temperament we have, our culture is so beautiful that everything gets connected to the Lord. Not only these four spiritual formal paths. If you see in our culture, dance is supposed to lead us to the divine. Music leads us to the divine. Art leads us to the divine. Everything, even commerce, business, everything is supposed to lead us to the divine. So, Tvam yogino dhyayanti nityam. With whatever is my swadharma, using that, let me unite with the divine. Tvam yogino dhyayanti nityam. So this is one meaning. Another meaning of this line is that many people do meditate on Ganesh ji, whether he is their Ishtadevta or not. Before we start anything new, we invoke the grace of Lord Ganesha. He is the Prathama Pujya. So Tvam yogino dhyayanti nityam. Now, the next mantra says that the Lord is appearing as many forms. Tvam Brahma, Tvam Vishnu, Tvam Rudras, Tvam Indras, Tvam Agnis, Tvam Vayus, Tvam Suryas, Tvam Chandramas, Tvam Brahma Bhurvasvarom. Tvam Brahma says you are Brahma ji, means you are the creator. Tvam Vishnu, you are the protector. Rudra, and you are the destroyer also. Now, this is the form. So we may say that no, Ganesh ji is the son of Shiva. How can he be Shiva himself? See, Ganesh ji as a supreme being is indestructible absolute Brahman, that which we saw earlier. And it is from that supreme being that this whole universe comes out. So in every grantha, that particular form will be considered as a supreme. So Krishna will be supreme in the Bhagavatam. Vishnu Bhagwan will be supreme in Vishnu Puran. Shivji will be supreme in Shiv Puran. Devi will be supreme in Devi Bhagavatam. So we have to understand that this form is the absolute. And this form is the form which is appearing as all the other devatas also. So whichever form we worship, we are worshipping the supreme. This is why there is so much of flexibility in our Sanatan Dharma. There is no rigidity that only this will lead you, nothing else will lead you. No. Any form you worship. Suppose you know, my Ishtadevata is Krishna. Wonderful. One will reach the Lord through Krishna. And that Krishna only is appearing as Ganesha also, Shiva also, Brahma also, everyone. So the bhavana of a devotee is that my Lord is appearing in all these forms. So there is no fanaticism then. Then there is no, one respects everybody. Because there is only one actually. All of us are also like that, you see. We are one individual playing the role, father, friend, employer, colleague. So many roles we have, but we are one. Same way. So Brahma, Vishnu and Rudra, they are creator, sustainer and destroyer. So he says, you are those. Then Indra is the king of gods. Tvam Indraha. Now, what we believe is this whole universe, what you see outside is there in our body also. That's why you say what is in Brahmanda is in the Pindanda. Pinda means this one body. This is a very powerful idea because when we learn to turn within, what we discover within, we will see it outside also. So a lot of secrets of the universe are discovered by the rishis when they turn within. So here when they say Indra, Agni, Vayu, Surya, Chandrama, these are not just the presiding deities outside. Indra is the king of Devatas, Vayu and Agni, air and fire. Then Surya is the sun, Chandrama is the moon. These are outside phenomenal forces. But these phenomenal forces are also in us. Indra is the presiding deity of our hands. The capability in our hands to grasp anything, that capability is called Indra. Hastayor Indra, it is said. Then Agni, our speech, Vacho Devata Vani, the speech, the presiding deity of speech is fire. That's why you have so many such expressions, He gave a very fiery speech, or they had heated argument, or I fired that person. So, speech, fire, and that's why those people who are speakers, who continuously speak a lot, they generate more fire in their personality. So, he says, Ganapati Bhagavan, you are the presiding deity of my speech, of my hands, Indra, Agni. Then Vayu is the deity of our skin, the touch. Surya is the deity of our eyes, Chakshusha Surya. Without the medium of light, we can't see. And Chandrama, moon, is the deity of our mind. This is very interesting. How the moon and the mind are connected, Generally, we never associate. Moon is so far away out there, and we are seeing our mind is here, our thoughts are here. So how is it that moon becomes the deity of the mind? I'm just going to share one small clip of Gurudev. Little humorous, nice clip it is. So where he says this, how the presiding deity of the mind is the moon.
Like Chandrodbhasita Shekhare, in his Shekhara, in his hair, in his jata, locks of hair which has been tied down, there is Chandra, the crescent moon. He carries, or he is adorned with, the crescent moon on his head. Moon and the human intellect is interrelated. Have you got any doubt? On the full moon day, visit your uncle who is in the hospital. In every lunatic asylum, during the full moon day, all are put under lock and key in padded rooms. They become really bad. Similarly, on full moon day, there is more accident. Those who have got blood pressure has got higher blood pressure on full moon day. On full moon day, the high tide is heavy. The moon has got influence upon the world of minerals, of matter. Not only in the world of matter, but also in the mind. That is why the word itself came. Luna, moon, lunatic. You know it. After your marriage, you never had a honey son. It was honey Moon. Slightly off. You don't think the consequences, or else you would not have done. Right. Now, so the moon and intellect is interrelated. Even in the Western country. Unconsciously, we have not taken it seriously, but unconsciously, we have said that. In the Vedic period, masters have understood this intimate relationship, and therefore the moon is the presiding deity of the human thinking. Now, the crescent moon is not that the intellect has stopped thinking, but it is not full moon as ours, constantly thinking of OET, but he has stopped many things. But he is still thinking of what? Of the nature of the reality. The man of contemplation. Thinking, are you thinking? Yes. The mind has ended? No. There is still thought flow. But what are you thinking? I am thinking about him. Who is he? Where there all the objects have ended, it is he. So crescent is indicated a man of contemplation.
So that was the connection of the moon and the mind. How our thoughts are affected by the moon. On high tide, low tide, the pressure on the oceans increases. And our body also has 70% water, so the water pressure in the body also rises, our thoughts get affected. So full moon is symbolic of sense enjoyment. So many times, the poets and all of them, they describe the face of their beloved as a full moon. So moon is always connected with romance. Nobody says your face is like a sun. So they always connect it with the romance is connected with moon. So he says that moon is the presiding deity of the mind. He says you are that power. So please keep our mind proper. Please make our senses properly active. Ensure that they don't, distract us. And you are all these outside, plus you are all these faculties within me. Brahma Bhur Bhuva Swarom. You are that eternal Brahman, and you are the three worlds. Now, this is another thing that we have to understand. What are these worlds? See, we believe that there are 7 higher worlds and 7 lower worlds. Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, Mahaha, Janaha, Tapaha, Satyam. These are called 7 higher worlds. Then there are 7 lower worlds. Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Rasatala, Mahatala, and Patal. Now, when we say worlds, we start imagining geographical locations. But these are not geographical locations. These are realms of consciousness, like how we go from waking world to the dream world. Now, the dream world does not have a fixed place. It is not, you can't say that it is, 2 inches or 5 inches above our head. It is a plane of consciousness into which the mind enters. So a world is called a field of experience. So we say world of doctors, world of engineers, world of poets. So where all these doctors have come together to meet, discuss some things on medicine, then that is a world of doctors. So world means that. So just like this is a plane of consciousness, right now we all are here. Suppose we go to sleep, then we move from this bhuloka. We enter into swapnaloka. So that's a realm of consciousness. In the same way, when a jiva drops the body, according to the karma of the jiva goes up or down. So look at the possibilities. We have 14 worlds, 84 lakh species. This is the permutation and combination in one universe that we have. Like that, there are infinite number of universes. So one can go anywhere. When people are very curious, they want to travel. So for Hindus, the scope of traveling is very huge. So you don't just need to figure out where to go in terms of, okay, can I go to Switzerland or Istanbul or America or some Nigeria or some Africa or wherever. That's only in Bhuloka. You can go to 7 higher worlds, 7 lower worlds, anywhere. But the point here to understand is, out of all these 14 worlds and 84 lakh species, only one place is Earth, which is called Karma Bhumi. The higher worlds are for enjoyment and tapasya, lower worlds are to go through difficult karmas. Only on earth we can strive to realize the self, and even in that earth, only in human birth. Now think what a blessing it is. From 14 worlds and 84 lakh species, one human life is there on this earth where we can strive consciously to evolve. So here he says that you are the all the worlds. You only have appeared as all these worlds. So give us the Sat Buddhi to realize the self. Now, of all the 14 worlds, we generally use only 3 to symbolize all the 14. Bhuhu, Bhuvaha and Suvaha. So even in the Gayatri mantra, we say Om Bhur Bhuva Suvaha, Om Tat Saviturvare Enyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. So only these 3 are generally used because they symbolize all the 14. One. Second is these 3 have a special connotation in our subjective life also. Like I said, everything outside is there inside. So Bhu means to exist. So Bhu means Sat, the immortal existence in us which will never become non-existent. Bhuvaha means Chit, consciousness. And Suvaha, people go to Swargaloka to enjoy. So Suvaha means Anandam. Swar Lokam, Swar Sukham Lokam Gacchati iti Suvaha. So Bhur Bhuva Suvaha literally means our true self. Sat, Chit and Anand. So for a yogi, Bhur Bhuva Suvaha don't mean just the physical worlds, this earth or the subtler worlds, Bhuvas, Bhuvar Loka and Suvar Loka. For the yogi, they mean our true nature, Sat, Chit, Anand. This meaning actually is given by Shankaracharya ji when he wrote his commentary on the Gayatri mantra. That Bhu means existence, Bhuva means consciousness, Suvaha means bliss. So the goal that we seek in life, we want to live forever, we want to gain knowledge at all times, and we want to be happy at all times. That goal is indicated by Bhur Bhuva Suvaha. And here he says that you are that Bhur Bhuva Suvarom. So Ganesh ji is all these various devatas, the Trinity, as well as all the 14 worlds. Now somebody says, okay, but how do I connect to that Lord in this particular form? So, when there are children, if you ask them something, they can describe a lot out of their imagination. Because they read stories, many fairy tales and many such things. So their imagination is very vivid. But as one grows, one experiences many things in life. So if one tells the grown-up person to describe something, one will describe what one has seen. Not that the person is not creative, but what one has actually experienced. One will be able to describe that better. In the same way, these great rishis, they have seen a form. They have experienced the form of the Lord. And that form is what is described in this Upanishad. So what is the form of Lord Ganesha? What is the valid means or an authentic text which tells us about the form of Lord Ganesha? This is that. Many people think that these forms are only symbolic. They are not really there. For us, is the love of the mother symbolic or is it real? The love of the mother is real. We don't say it is symbolic. Mother herself is real, so her love also has to be real. Because if the mother was not there, how would I be there? The son will not be there, the child will not be there. So we are created, we all are born in this world, but we are saying, no, no, God is only symbolic. God's love is also only symbolic. Not, it does not exist. And some people go to the extent of saying that human being has created these forms to control the society. And we can't believe some of this is real because we feel it is very weird. How can there be elephant head and one body? How can Vishnu Bhagwan have four hands? I think it is only symbolic that, four hands represent four Purushartha. Or how will Shivji carry Gangaji all the time with him? Wherever he goes, that fountain is there on his head. I think it's all symbolic. Now, these things cannot be proved externally. These things can be experienced through sadhana only. So now the next mantra that comes, mantra 9, actually tells us about what is the mantra that you can chant so that this form will manifest in front of you. This is a very deep science. The science of mantra is the science which will make the form manifest. Where the person may not even know what the form looks like. Like simplest example for that is Ratnakar, who became Valmiki. He was given the mantra Ram by Naradji. Ratnakar does not know who is Ram. How does Ram look? But Ratnakar had faith in Naradji, and Ratnakar's capability was such that he was not even able to say Ram. Ulta Nama Japata. He started doing japa of the name as Mara 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 because he told Naradji, I can't chant Ram. So Naradji said, doesn't matter, chant Mara. So when Naradji said chant Mara, his sadhana bal also is behind that. And his Ratnakar started chanting Mara, 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 Mara. Shabri, the Guru Matang Rishi told Shabri that Bhagwan will come to your place. You don't have to search for the Lord. You chant the name Ram and Bhagwan will come. So these are two examples where they have not seen the Lord. They don't know what is the form of the Lord and Bhagwan manifested. The mantra has the power. Nam is more powerful than the Nami. That's why they say Prabhu se bada Prabhu ka naam. In Tulsi Ramayana, this whole section comes of how the name is greater than the person. Because person will go at some point in time, but the name lives. Person goes through many difficulties. Name doesn't go through any difficulties. Bhagwan Ram could have uplifted a few people while he took form. But his name has uplifted countless people even after his form is gone. So the name of the Lord is called a mantra. And mantras are very, very powerful. They will manifest Bhagwan. And amongst mantras also, there is something called Bija mantra. That is the most powerful. Bija means a seed. So just like a seed, when we plant, in the soil, we give water, we give nourishment, some manure, and then proper sunlight, etc. Then this small little seed will manifest its potential and a huge mighty tree comes out of that. Same way, Bija mantra is like that. It is very small, but it has the capability to manifest infinity. So what is the Bija mantra of Lord Ganesha? Is Om Gam. So this seventh mantra says that. Ganadim purvamucharya varnadim stadanantaram anuswara parataraha ardhe endulasitam tarena riddham etattava manuswarupam gakara purvarupam akaro madhyamarupam anuswarascha antya rupam binduruttara rupam Nada Sandhanam Samhita Sandhi. So Ganadim Purva Mucharya. So first alphabet is G. Varnadim Sadanantaram. Then Varnadi, the first of the vowel. That is A. So G plus A becomes G. Anuswara Parataraha. Then there is a dot above. The Anuswara, what we know as the nasal sound, Anuswara. So Gam. Then Ardhendu Lasitam. Then there is a Chandra Bindu, crescent. Tarena Riddham. So when both these come together, and that is called as the Dirgha Anuswar, which is to be elongated. So now Anuswara Parataraha Ardhendu Lasitam. Tarena Riddham. It has to be prefixed with Om. So G plus A plus dot plus Anuswar becomes Gam preceded by Om. Tarena Riddham. This will manifest by itself. You can meditate on just Om Gam as alphabets. That itself is called as the Manuswarupam, the terrestrial form of the Lord. Dakara Purva Rupam, Akaro Madhyama Rupam, Anuswara Chantya Rupam, Bindu Ruttara Rupam. So the same thing is repeated again here. Bindu Ruttara Rupam, Nada Sandhanam, Samhita Sandhihi. So now this is the mantra that we have to chant if we want to have the darshan of the form of Ganeshji. Then what should be done? Om Gam, Om Gam, Om Gam, Om Gam. One has to keep chanting this. This is called the Bija mantra of Lord Ganesha. So every deity will have some different Bija mantras. So either one can chant the Bija mantra, and Bija mantra also will invoke a lot of energy in the body. Different energy centers also will get activated with the Bija mantra. Now this Om and Gam, they both have 4 parts. Like we saw G plus A plus Anuswara plus the crescent, 4. Same way, A, U, Ma, crescent, 4. So 4 plus 4. And that's how they represent waking, dream, deep sleep, and the supreme state of realization. So Om Gam, Om Gam, Om Gam, Om Gam, that's a mantra one can keep chanting in japa. That mantra will ensure that the form of the Lord will manifest. That's the power of that mantra. Many great devotees of Lord Ganeshji have done this japa and experienced the form of the Lord. See, if somebody calls your name, will you respond or not? As simple as that. Many people, they don't know. So they send their driver. You see, the driver doesn't know who is the person to be received. So what will the driver do? The driver will take the board saying, Mr. Rajesh. And the driver is standing there. Now, driver doesn't know who is Rajesh, but Rajesh knows who is Rajesh. So Rajesh will see the board and come to the driver. Same way, we may not know which form Bhagwan has. This is the beauty of our culture. Either one can meditate on the form of the Lord or says, no, I don't know. I just want the darshan of Lord Ganesha, whichever form he is. So I will meditate on Gam. Om Gam, Om Gam. I will chant the mantra. Let the Lord manifest in the form in which he is. See, Ganeshji has a fixed form. That will come in the next mantra. Ganeshji has a fixed form. We may make Ganeshji do anything. We may put a hat on his head and a bat in his hand, and Ganeshji may be playing cricket, or he may be playing a veena, or he may be, holding a cell phone and talking to somebody. Ganeshji is like a very flexible God. Anything we make Ganeshji do. And Bhagwan is compassionate, kind. Bhagwan is okay with that. He doesn't mind. Whichever way one is remembering Bhagwan, at least that is good enough. But that does not mean Bhagwan doesn't have a form. Bhagwan has a specific form. So the rishis who have meditated, these forms are revealed to them. These are not created by human beings. Like it is said, Karpura Gauram Karunavataram Samsara Saram Bhujagendra Haram. Lord Shiva is white in color. We may see many places is painted blue, but he is actually white in color. But the rishis have seen it. Vishnu Bhagwan is blue in color. It's not a symbolism alone. So same way, Ganeshji has the head of an elephant, so he has a grey color on the head and then the human body. So the idea here is that that's why Shraddha is required based on some logic and understanding, not that it is just blind. But at some point, I have to apply and practice. If I do that practice, the result will come. Om Gam, Om Gam, Om Gam, one has to keep doing. It will manifest, Bhagwan's form will manifest. Like Dhruva did. Now Dhruva also doesn't know how Vishnu Bhagwan looks. Naraji told him Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya and he chanted. 6 months time he got darshan of Bhagwan. Swami Shivananji, see now these examples I gave you, they are from the Puranas. Historical examples if you want, Swami Shivananji, he used to do the japa of Om Namah Shivaya. He had darshan of Lord Shiva. Then he tried with Krishna mantra. He had darshan of Lord Krishna also. Great Saint Akhandananji Maharaj, he did Gayatri mantra Puras Charan. He had darshan of Gayatri Devi. He did the Puras Charan of Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. He had darshan of Krishna Bhagwan also. So my point is that many saints have also applied it. They have seen the result. Vedas have said it. Puranas have said it. Then it is up to us with how much Shraddha we can practice. So now this is the power of this Bija mantra. This Vidya is called Ganesha Vidya. In the 10th mantra he says, Saisha Ganesha Vidya Ganakarishihi Nichrit Gayatri Chandaha Ganapatir Devata. So just like, if in today's world there is copyright, so you can't lift somebody's write-up or somebody's music or some video. One has to take their permission to use it. Same way, this knowledge and especially mantra vidya, there are rishis to whom these mantras are revealed. So before we chant the mantra, we are supposed to invoke the devata. We should know how to chant it. Invoke the rishi who is connected to that mantra. Seek the blessing of the rishi. And also say, why am I doing this japa? For what reason am I practicing this sadhana? Am I going to do japa or I'm going to do havan or I'm going to do parayan? What am I going to do or puja? What is the purpose? These 4 things one has to do before one starts. So now, especially for Vedic mantras, for Puranic mantras, the rishi will not be there and the chanda will not be there. But one should remember the devata and the purpose. So here it is said, this Vidya is called Ganesha Vidya. To whom was it really revealed? There is a great rishi called Ganaka Rishi. To him this mantra was revealed and the form was revealed. What is the chanda of this? Nichrit Gayatri. 24 syllables are there in generally the Nichrit Gayatri. This is the compressed form of that. So Om Gam. Nichrit Gayatri Chandaha. And who is the Devata? Ganapati Bhagwan is the Devata. So one should remember this Lord. So these are few things one has to remember before one starts the japa. Now the Bija mantra I said is Om Gam. Then it is little more expanded as Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. That is the next mantra, 11. So either one can say Om Gam or one can say Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. So mantra japa of that also can be done. That's also Vedic mantra. So what does this mean? My salutations to Lord Ganesha, who is the presiding deity, who is the Lord of all the Ganas, Ganapati. So Ganapati means it, the Lord of the Ganas of Lord Shiva. Those details will come ahead also. The Lord of our senses, the senses are also called Ganas. Attendant is called a Gana, and he is Ganapati. All the alphabets are also called Gana. So the class consonants are called Gana. So then Ganeshji is the Lord of all those. So to Lord Ganesha, who is the deity of knowledge, my surrender, my salutations. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. So Om Gam you can do, or you can do Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. And when we chant this Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha or this Om Gam, one very powerful thing is that we are also seeking the protection of the Lord. Because these mantras protect. Mananat Trayate iti mantra. By chanting the mantra, we get protected, we get saved from our own negativities and from the negative influences around. So next comes the Gayatri mantra of Lord Ganesha. Ekadantāya vidmahe vakratundāya dhīmahi tanno danti prachodayāt. Now this is called Ganesh Gayatri. So these are three mantras of Lord Ganesha that anyone can chant. These are Vedic mantras. Om Gam or Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha or Ekadantaya Vidmahe Vakratundaya Dhimahi Tanno Danti Prachodayat. So any devotee of Lord Ganesha can chant either of these three. Now why is this called Gayatri mantra? Because Gayatri is a meter. In the Gayatri meter there will be 24 syllables. 8 syllables in 1/4. So that is called Chanda. Gayatri is a Chanda. So every deity has a Gayatri mantra. The popular Gayatri mantra that we chant is actually a mantra of Lord Surya. That's why it's called Savitra Gayatri, Surya Gayatri. Om Tat Saviturvare Enyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. So that is called the Surya Gayatri. Same way, Tat Purushaya Vidmahe Mahadevaya Dhimahi Tanno Rudra Prachodayat. That is called Shiva Gayatri. So each deity has a Gayatri mantra. Same way Lord Ganesha has a Gayatri mantra. So the Vedic forms of the Lord will always have a Gayatri mantra. So here it is the Gayatri Chanda, the Gayatri mantra. So again Gayatri itself means Gayantam Trayate Yasmat, that which protects the person who chants it. And difficult times we all want protection. So whoever is your Ishtadevata, the mantra of that Ishtadevata, and either a Bija mantra or the Gayatri mantra or just the name of that Lord, one chants, it will protect. What does this mantra mean? Ekadantaya Vidmahe. So these Gayatri mantras of different deities will have three words in common. Vidmahe, Dhimahi and Prachodayat. For Durga it is said Katyayanaya Vidmahe Kanya Kumari Dhimahi Tanno Durgi Prachodayat. Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. So in this we have Dhimahi and Prachodayat. So minimum these two will be common. In some the Vidmahe will be added. So Vidmahe means we meditate as we know. Dhimahi means we meditate. So we meditate on you as we know. You please illumine our mind. Prachodayat. So here it is the form of Lord Ganesha which has one tusk. Ekadantaya Vidmahe. I meditate on Vakratundaya Dhimahi, on the Lord who has a curved trunk, either left or right. So I meditate on the Lord who has one tusk, curved trunk, And again, Danti Prachodayat, meaning one tusk. May that Lord illumine my mind and intellect. Now see, in the scriptures, nowhere it is said that if the trunk is on the right, you have to meditate every day. If the trunk is on the left, it is okay not to meditate. That's some folklore some people must have created it. That also somebody must have started it so that we become what we say, consistent in our sadhana. Otherwise, whichever form of Lord Ganesha you have, the form is important, the bhavana is important. So don't get scared. Oh God, this right trunk facing Ganeshji has come into our house. My God, that means every day I will have to worship. Otherwise, something bad will happen. Bhagwan is not so finicky that if you don't worship him every day, he will put trouble in your life and he will make you, go through misery. He is of the nature of compassion. So Ekadantaya Vidmahe Vakratundaya Dhimahi Tanno Danti Prachodayat. This is the Ganesh Gayatri. And the last mantra here is the form that one will see. Not last mantra, second last mantra, yeah. The form of Ganeshji that one will see. Can we take 10 minutes and finish this today? Then this text will be over. See, these three mantras that we saw, Om Gam, Ganapataye Namaha, and the Gayatri mantra of Ganeshji, any of these when we meditate on, which is the form that will manifest in front of us, that is said here. Ekadantam chaturhastam pashamam kushadharinam radam chavaradam hastair bibhranam mushakadhvajam raktam lambodaram shurpakarnakam raktavasasam रक्तगन्धानुलिप्ताङ्गं रक्तपुष्पैः सुपूजितं भक्तानुकम्पिनं देवं जगत्कारणमच्युतम् आविर्भूतं च सृष्ट्यादौ प्रकृतेः पुरुषात् परम् एवं ध्यायति यो नित्यं स योगी योगिनां वरः. So Ekadantam Chaturhastam. He says, the form that will manifest is one who has one tusk. So we know the story that Bhagwan broke one tusk to write the Mahabharata. So that signifies that when the cause is selfless and noble, if one has to go through some discomfort also, it is okay, one should go through that. The deeper meaning of Ekadanta is one who has broken duality. One who helps the devotee to go beyond duality and establishes the devotee in the oneness, who makes the devotee realize the oneness. Ekadantam. Chaturhastam. Bhagwan will have 4 hands. Now these 4 hands, with 2 hands we do so much, with 4 hands we can do so much more. So 4 hands represents tremendous dynamism. And also the 4 hands represent 4 Purusharthas. Bhagwan can bless the devotee with all the 4. Artha, Kama, Dharma and Moksha. Now what is he holding in his 4 hands? So he says, Radam cha varadam hastair bibhranam mushaka dhvajam. So now what is he having in these 4 hands? First hand he says, in one hand he is having the tusk, with which he wrote the Mahabharata, Radam. One hand is the Varada Hasta. He is blessing the devotee. That don't worry, my grace is with you, my protection is with you. So that is called Abhay Hasta. Radam cha Varadam Hastaihi. Bibhranam Mushaka Dhvajam. And in one hand he is having a flag. Bhagwan has a red color flag, and on the flag the sign on his flag is Mushaka. The rat or the mouse is the symbol on his flag also. Flag is the symbol of Kirti, victory. Now, even today when we do so many of these team building activities and people have their flag, they have the team name, they have caption, then you, for the honor of the flag, you do a lot of things, and then finally you go and establish the flag somewhere. So it's symbol of Kirti. So Radam cha Varadam Hastair Bibhranam Mushakadhvajam, Raktam Lambodaram. He is red in color. He has a Lamba Udara. He is a big belly. Why? Because the whole world is in the belly of the Lord. So it's very interesting. If you feed Ganesh ji, you feed the whole world. Like how Krishna Bhagwan ate one leaf from Draupadi's Akshay Patra and the whole world is fed. Vishwambhara Bhagwan is. So one is that here the whole world is in his belly. Second is that one who can accept life as it comes and digest all experiences as they come without resistance, without agitation, is Lord Ganesha. So these are qualities that we have to cultivate. So Mushakadhvajam, Raktam Lambodaram, Shurpakarnakam, Raktavasasam, Raktagandhanuliptangam, Rakta Pushpai Supujitam. Shurpakarnakam, his ears are very big. They are like the winnow, which one uses for segregating the grain from the husk. Shurpakarnakam, big elephant ears to listen more. Shurpakarnakam. Raktavasasam, and the Lord wears red color clothes. Now red color is the color of Rajoguna, meaning dynamism, and red also is the color of love. When you love somebody, which color heart you draw? Red color. Which color rose one gives? Red color. These colors also have their own significance. Each color has its own power. So for love there is some color, for peace there is green color, or prosperity is green color, white is the color for peace, blue is the color for infinity. So like that, colors have their significance. So red color is for dynamism and for love. Raktavasasam. Rakta Gandhanuliptangam. He has smeared the red sandalwood paste and he is worshipped with red flowers. Rakta Pushpai Supujitam. Bhaktanukampinam Devam. He is most gracious to the devotee. Jagat Karanam Achyutam. He is the cause of this whole universe and is Achyuta, mean who never forgets the divine nature of his. Chuta means to fall. So we are Chuta. We have fallen from our true self to think we are this body. Very interesting. In the Gita, Arjun uses this word Achyuta for Shri Krishna. Ratham sthapaya me Achyuta. He says, oh Lord, Achyuta, please take my chariot and keep it in between the two armies. And why it is significant? Because Bhagwan does not fall from his true nature, but Arjun is going to fall. Arjun's collapse started there when the chariot was placed between the two armies. So Bhagwan is Achyuta. He will never forget his own divine nature. Symbolically, the devotee who becomes one with Bhagwan also becomes Achyuta. Will never forget anymore that my nature is divine. Avir bhutam cha srishtyadav. And you are the one who is there even before the srishti. Prakrite Purushat Param. You are beyond the Prakriti, beyond nature. Nature is an inert power. Bhagwan is the material cause of the universe as well as the efficient cause of the universe. Evam dhyayati yo nityam sayogi yoginam varaha. In this way, one who meditates on the form of Lord Ganesha. So see how specific form is given here. I forgot to tell you the Pasha and Ankusha, the nose and the Ankush. So in one hand is the nose and the Ankush, on the other hand is the flag, in one hand is the tusk and one hand is the Abhay Hasta. So with the nose, the Lord actually pulls the devotees to oneself, and with the Ankush, with the gourd, he keeps us on the right track. So this is the form of Lord Ganesha that one has to meditate on, or this is the form that one will see when one chants the mantras. So he says here, the last line in this says, Evam dhyayati yo nityam. In this way, one who meditates constantly, Sayogi yoginam varaha. That person is the best of the yogis. And this Upanishad ends with this mantra 14. Namo Vratapataye, Namo Ganapataye, Nama Pramathapataye, Namaste Stulambodharaya, Ikadantāya, Vignanashine, Shivasutaya, Shri Varadamurtaye, Namaha. So he says, my salutations to Vratapati. Vratapati means all those who work hard and gain money. Bhagwan is the leader of all of them. So right now is the time to invoke Vratapati Bhagwan. That Bhagwan, we are all working very hard. You please bless us now. Take away this COVID. Let everything return to normalcy. And economy has to pick up. Oh Vratapati, please help. So Namo Vratapataye. Namo Ganapataye. He is the leader of all the groups. Nama Pramathapataye. He is the leader of all the Pramatha Ganas of Lord Shiva. Namaste Astu Lambodharaya. Salutations to the one who has a huge belly. Ekadantaya, who has one tusk. Vignanashine, who destroys all the obstacles. Shivasutaya, who is the son of Lord Shiva. Varadamurtaye Namaha. One who blesses the devotee constantly. To that Lord is our salutation. So this completes the Ganapati Atharvashirsha Upanishad. What follows after this is actually called Falashruti, which is what is the benefit of chanting this, when it should be chanted. So morning you chant, then the sins committed at night are destroyed. Evening you chant, sins committed through the day are destroyed. During solar eclipse one has to chant, then it will give a certain benefit. And if you chant it 1,000 times, Sahasravartan, then you will get lot of punya and benefit. If you stand in the river, face the sun and chant during the eclipse, much more benefit. All that it says. So that is called the Falashruti. So today we conclude this Ganapati Atharvashirsha Upanishad.